Going to do gradient intercept form. So let's have a look at the learning goal. The learning goal is to be able quickly to find the gradient and y-intercept when equations are written in this form. Now, it's actually quite a powerful thing. Sometimes they're not written in that form and we can get it to that form and find the same thing. But this lesson will be focusing on those things that I just wrote in the learning goal. So recognize that m, so this thing here is the gradient, b or plus b is the y-intercept, and we can rearrange and put things, I'm struggling here aren't I, into y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so write those down please. I'll rub them out and we'll get on to our work. Okay, so how do we calculate gradient? Well, if you ask your geography teacher, they'll say rise over run. And it's exactly the same in maths. Now, what you would notice is that this line here is a fraction line. So we're looking to make something into a fraction, okay? Now, here, the rise is where when it goes up, all right? So how much has it gone up? 3. So this gradient, we say m, is 3. And how much has it run across? Oh, that's 4. So in this case, the gradient is simply 3 over 4. Now there's one more thing that we have to look at. Is this gradient positive or negative? Does it do a tick or does it do a cross? Well, it does a tick, so it's positive. So this is positive 3 on 4, okay? Let's look at this one over here. I'm going to use a different color. How much does it rise? Well, it rises, looks like 4. Okay, so I'm going to go gradient equals 4. And how much does it run? Well, it runs the same amount, 4. Now, I can simplify that fraction 4 over 4 to 1. Now, is the line a tick or a cross? It looks like it's a cross. So it's not just going to be 1, it's going to be -1. So really important that we understand this. Remember, gradient means slope. So this one's flat, so the gradient will be 0, okay? Because there is no slope, there is no gradient, okay? And this one is undefined because it's cray-cray, okay? So what is gradient? It's rise over run, and it's just a fraction. How much has it gone up at the same point as how much has it gone across? Okay, what is the gradient and y-intercept of this? Well, we're going to use this here. You can make any triangles you want, but I'm going to go here. It rises, it looks like it's rise 1, 1, 2, so it rises 2. I've got some sort of crazy thing happening here. It rises 2, so it's risen 2, and it goes across 1, okay? So I'm going to write that down. Gradient equals 2 over 1. The next thing I need to look at, is it a tick or is it a cross? It looks like it's a cross, so that means cross is not good, so it's negative, okay? So therefore our gradient, which we give m equals -2. Yeah. Now, where is our y-intercept? Well, this is the y-axis, okay? And it looks like it crosses here at -2. So I'm going to get rid of some of this information here. Where does it cross? It looks like it crosses right here. So that's -2. So I'm going to write that. Y-intercept is -2. Now, I've actually written something wrong here. This is supposed to be written y equals mx plus b, where m is our gradient, and our gradient is -2, and our y-intercept should be this, and that's -2. So the mistake is our gradient is -2. Well, I've got -3 there, so it should be written as -2 there. All right. So this number here is our gradient, and this, so gradient, and this is our y-intercept. All right, let's look at this one. I'm just going to pick a triangle here. You can pick it anywhere you like. I'll move it around so you can see it. How much has it risen? It looks like it's risen 1, 2. How much has it run? 1, 2. All right, so our gradient is 2 over 2. Now the next thing I need to say, is it a tick or is it a cross? It looks like it's a tick, so it's going to remain positive. Okay, and we can simplify 2 over 2 as 1. Okay, now where does it cross the y-intercept? So the y-intercept, I'm going to rub some of this stuff off. The y-intercept, this is our y-axis, and the y-intercept is here at 1, and it's positive 1. So let's make that known. Y-intercept is at +1. Okay, so if we're writing things as y equals mx plus b, our m is 1, so that should be 1 there, and our b is +1, which is here. So that's correct. That one is absolutely correct. Because, you know, mathematicians are lazy, we don't normally write that one. But let's leave that there for this. Okay, so what is the gradient and y-intercept? Well, remember, the gradient is the number in front of the x. So that's this one here. So I can go gradient equals 3. What's the y-intercept? Y-intercept is +8. Okay? I want you to pause this video and do the rest. All right, hopefully you've paused this video. So our gradient in this one is 4, and it's positive 4. And our y-intercept is what? Plus c. Plus 3. Okay. Our gradient is what in this one? 2. Our y-intercept is -5. Really important that we do that. What about this next one? Well, that's still a number. So our gradient is 1/2, and our y-intercept is -6. So be aware of that. All right, I'm going to do one more example here, and we're going to look at it. I'm going to do it pretty quickly. I'm going to do a triangle here. Let's do a big triangle. It doesn't matter what size triangle, as long as you calculate it evenly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes up 4, and it runs 2. So our gradient equals 4. It rises 4, runs 2. Therefore, if we simplify it, it equals 2. Now, is it positive or negative? Well, it's like a tick, so it will remain positive. Where's our y-intercept? Here, +1. So I'm going to go y-intercept is +1. Now, it says find the equation. So I'm going to write it as y equals mx plus b. Remember, our m is 2, so I'm going to write that down. Y equals 2x, and our plus b is our y-intercept, which actually is +1, so that's my equation here, +1. All right, why don't you try the next one? Pause the video and see how you go. I'm going to do it quickly, and let's see how we go. All right, so I'm going to do a littler triangle now, and I'm going to go, it rises, it looks like it rises 2, and it runs 1. So our gradient equals 2 over 1. Now, all I've got to remember, if it's positive or negative, it looks like it's negative. So that's going to be negative here. So therefore, our gradient equals -2. Where does it cross the y-intercept? I need to rub some information off. It looks like it crosses here at +1. So I'm going to write that down. Y-intercept at +1. Therefore, I can go straight to this. I'm going to go y equals mx plus b. My m is -2, so let me write that down. Y equals -2, always put the x. And our plus b is +1, so I'm going to go +1. And I've written a beautiful equation of this. All right, that's the lesson. Peace out.